From the Opubco Studios at Britain and Broadway, you're listening to a News OK podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Comics Podcast at newsok.com. I'm Matt Price. This is Kyle Roberts. Kyle, you should be nearly ecstatic this week.
Yeah, a lot of X titles, a lot of Marvel titles. I'm really excited about this X-Men Forever series. This is number 2. It's basically where Claremont left off in 92.
Yeah, the early 90s, 91, 92.
And as a big X-Men fan of the early 90s, I'm just really enjoying this series. And this was another great comic.
Yeah, this sets up, again, he's following what if he hadn't left the X-Men in the early 90s. Sabretooth appears in this issue.
Yeah.
And we've got, it's a pretty action-packed. I guess it's mostly kind of Sabretooth versus the X-Men, and, you advance some of the subplots as well. So
it's very kind of classic, just like a fight between Sabretooth and the X-Men.
It does kind of feel like a 90s comic to me, but you know what? Tom Grummett's a really good artist. I think it's certainly very acceptable, and it's obviously really working for Kyle, the big-time 90s X-Men fan. So that's X-Men Forever, the second issue. It's coming out bi-weekly, so we may have another one here in just 2 weeks, I believe.
And again, Gambit's in it, so if you're a big Gambit fan, check out X-Men Forever.
Wolverine Weapon X, this is the third one. Jason Aaron, Ron Garney. We've covered all these so far, and really enjoying Ron Garney's art. You thought the story took even a turn for even darker this time around.
Yeah, the first couple have been pretty dark, but this one just seems like it keeps getting darker. Tons of blood in it. Even the language seems like it's a little bit darker than before, but I like it. I think it's written really well.
All right, very good. And then while we're speaking of violence and rage, Berserker from Top Cow. This is by Rick Lovert and Jeremy Hahn, who did some of the Civil War tie-ins and is really an amazing artist, handled this one. Now, not for the weak of heart. It is definitely, this would definitely be an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
These guys, you don't know what kind of all of this of the course of the story, but they find out they go into these uncontrollable rages.
Kind of like Incredible Hulk. They don't get huge or anything. They look normal.
And they can't be controlled. So there's these two guys, and you kind of find out what happens to them as these powers are discovered. It's very, sort of gritty and very dark. I mean, and a shocking ending on top of that. So
for sure.
If you want like a story that is kind of like Incredible Hulk meets Wanted, maybe this might be the kind of thing you're looking for from Top Cow.
All right.
Batwoman stars in Detective Comics by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. And I think this really started off with a bang. I mean, I love the art in this. There's a great color palette by Dave Stewart. J.H. Williams III, who you might know from Promethea, is just a brilliant artist. One of the best artists working.
Definitely.
And, story-wise, we're starting to explore Kate Kane, the Batwoman, kind of what her role is going to be in maybe the new Gotham. So I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was beautifully, beautifully drawn.
Sweet. And then the next, Utopia. This is where the X-Men come into the Dark Reign storyline.
Yep.
And basically, if you just take those two together, that's what this is. I mean, you take the X-Men story where humans hate mutants, and you put that into in a Dark Reign storyline, that's Utopia.
Dark Avengers versus the Uncanny X-Men. Something that I liked, of course, is Mark Silvestri coming back and drawing an X-Men comic. I loved his Wolverine back in the day. And, he doesn't draw a whole lot of full issues anymore. You occasionally see him on a cover, so it was great to see him draw in a full issue of this. And Matt Fraction. I've been a Matt Fraction fan before he even was officially writing comics. We used to interact a little bit on the old Warren Ellis forum message board back on in the early 2000s. And then his Last of the Independents was a great graphic novel from AIT Planet Lair, which I recommend checking out. Now he's kind of Marvel's go-to guy, writing their big crossover with Mark Silvestri. So, was it perfect? No, I mean, I could see some flaws in it, but was it pretty enjoyable, well written by Fraction? And if you're a Silvestri fan, especially a Silvestri fan on the X-Men, you're going to be pleased with this.
I really liked it. I'll probably say this is my pick of the week. I like the writing in this comic. It almost reminds me of an old school kind of like 80s X-Men, God Loves Man Kills kind of style. Put it into the Marvel Universe today.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. I'm going to make Batwoman and Detective Comics my pick of the week. But a strong week, and like I said, we didn't even mention Wolverine 75. Dakin takes over the Wolverine title, Dark Wolverine. So
that's right.
If we don't get to a Wolverine comic, there was a bunch of stuff out. So those are our picks of the week. For Kyle Roberts, I am Matt Price. Thanks for watching.